Yes, yesterday was 28 degrees and today it looks like it's going to be the same. So I'm going to continue with the back garden tour. I'm going to try and stay in the shade. Yeah, so thank you for joining me again. Thank you for subscribing. I'm now over the 1,000 subscribers, which is absolutely mind-blowing. So thank you to everyone. Excuse the hair. Not been done this morning, but hey, let's just crack on with the garden. So we'll start off in the rose garden. Quite a few people in comments have asked me where I've got the obelisks from. So it's 2 to a pack. They were from Amazon and they were black. And I have painted them in a outdoor wood and metal paint. And there's 2 different styles. There's this style and then there's this style. And they have been painted in Good Home outdoor wood and metal, which is available from B&Q in that colour and finish. And it's been really durable. Yeah, we've had a very wet summer and none of it's peeled off yet. So the arbour in the middle, we purchased that for our joint anniversary present last year, and it is from In Excess, which is, I believe, mostly down in the south of the United Kingdom. We've got quite a few in the local area, and this is from a company called Avalon, and it was sold through In Excess, and I believe it was $499, but I might be wrong on that. I still haven't added the gold to the weather vane at the top. I'm painting gold on the north, south, east and west, and then the tip of the arrow. But yeah, it's been beautiful all summer. So we've got the last few bags of gravel to get, so we think that's going to be another 18 bags of gravel. So yeah, we'll get some bags of gravel. So turning around, if you recall, this used to be the allotment garden. So this is purely where I grew the vegetables. There was a hedge along this line here. So we've taken the hedge away and just left the fence there, and it's let in a lot more light. We've also taken off a lower branch from this fir tree here, and that's also let in a lot of light. But I have to say the rose garden is sunny on this cross section and more shady on the far cross section, and I've noticed a difference in the plants, how they're developing, and how well they're producing flowers. For instance, the cosmos is absolutely wild as anything, beautiful, bushy and flowering on the sunny side of the rose garden. And then if we take a dip into the dark side, you will notice that there are no flowers on the cosmos yet, but there will be. So excuse the mess down here. I've just emptied the household compost bin. So the compost bins, the engine rooms of the garden have been doing really, really well. So they've been filled up twice, and then we've rotated everything that's in them, and now we're on the third lot of filling up. And then we will use these in the garden to mulch in the spring, but they've been amazing. I'm going to give you a roundabout view. Here we go. Shady side of the garden, ferns have just done incredible. The anemones just looking iridescent in this beautiful light. The roses, so this was the rose that was half price at the Dobby's Garden Centre, and this is the Susan Ellis from David Austin. And to be fair, it's doing really, really well. Here's another one of those shady cosmoses, but there we go, some flower in there. That's going to be exciting when that comes out. Desdemona, flowering again. There's a little one there and a bigger bud just here. And then underneath that, might have to do a bit of watering, which sounds crazy now because of the weather. We've got a lot of the forget-me-nots and the honesty plants that have self-seeded. The Buxus balls box. Tried to pressure washer these, but I don't think they're going to make it. I'll leave them in and see how they go. And then coming through this border, there's some strawberry plants in here. The grasses have come into their own and they just look amazing in the breeze. Gorgeous cosmos with some bees from the beehive. At the back there we have got the gorgeous, luscious Emily Bronte. Again, a David Austin. And she's giving more buds. The dahlias in this bed, I've just deadheaded, but we've got plenty of buds to come out. And these are the most gorgeous burgundy red. I don't have the name of them, I'm afraid. I've got a tiniest little clematis here going up through this obelisk. It has got a name tag, but I'm not going to reach in and get that, so sorry. The Desdemona rose is still going strong. I'll touch that and she's probably going to drop all her petals now. The skimmia are getting ready to flower, and this again is the shadier of the bed. There's an astilbe tucked in there. Delphinium is starting to look a bit ropey, so that would probably be taken back. I lost the clematis that was in here. I cut it back. It had clematis wilt, but you can just about see where my finger's pointing. It started to root again. Sadly in here I've got the dreaded ground elder, and I need to knock that on the head really quickly because I didn't have that in this bed before I literally started putting the plants in here. The Amelia Rose Austin is going to bud up again, so that's good. Peony put on lots of growth, which is just a joy in the spring, and there's a hydrangea behind it, and then there's some asparagus fern popping through, so I obviously left some asparagus in here. The scabious are just looking beautiful, and then along the front you can see the astilbes, which have done really well. A dead branch from the plum tree, and then the rose that's climbing up the plum. Yes, so all in all, there's the butterfly there. So pleased with the rose garden. It's just made a huge difference to the garden. It's almost made the garden feel larger, even though there was something here. It's just felt secondary to the back lawn, and to be fair, we hardly ever came and sat out here, but this year we've been out here every day, and it's just been beautiful. Just looking at these shady ferns, they are stunning. I just put on so much growth this year. A year to sleep, a year to creep, and a year to leap. So this was my sleeping year. Next year's a creeping year. There's a Halloween prop in the making. What a difference the sun makes. Only a few days ago I was lamenting over the last of the summer, and the autumn was here. I've done my autumn front door. I'm getting excited about the pumpkins, which have turned orange. Yeah, we tried to go big on Halloween. So I do need to get some water on that anemone under there, but the tree fern is looking amazing, and still throwing out fronds. The fish are quite active in the pond. They're enjoying the warmer water. Maple. Your little sundial is not in the sun. Great placement, Heidi. We've got nice growth of the plants in the pond. We didn't get any water lilies this year, which is a shame, but it's its first year. The little prunus trees are doing really well here. The whole point of this end is to try and hide that filter box. So I've gone heavy on the planting of shrubs here in the hope that that will soon be covered over. Just looking at the cottage sat in the sunlight. It just looks amazing. I'm still in the shade at the moment. We've even got stripes in the lawn. That's a big thumbs up to husband, Mr. David. He does a great job of keeping the hedges trimmed where I let him. and doing the lawns. We have to do the lawns at least once a week or they go out of control, and they are not the finest lawns. They are full of weeds, but hey, they're green. Beehive, I won't get too near. And then we've got, going through this border, we've got a beautiful fuchsia. Behind that we've got the Solomon seal, and then into the hydrangea border where we've got quite a few sedums that are just starting to show that first blush of pink. There's a few roses in there that were pre-existing and I've just left them because they were so old. And then we've got my Morrison's £20 ceramic pots, which are planted up with lots of annuals, the aster that we grew together from seed at the beginning of the year, lots more anemones. And I know what some of you are going to say is they're buggish, they're going to take over. I'll just grub them out. Right, some roses through here. This is Harlow Court by David Austin. It really smells beautiful. And then through to the dahlias. These need deadheading and taking back. There's still lots of bud on them though, so still colour to come. This little aster hasn't flowered yet, but this is a pink one, which for them will sit really nice in this border, which is predominantly pink. Clematis, and I believe this is from the Hagley Bagley family because it's really prolific with its flowers. My poor cafe au lait is being eaten daily by the wood louse, whatever, earwigs, that's the one I need. Yeah, it's been eaten by earwigs, and I keep promising myself I'm going to put a pot of straw down here and capture them and then give them to the chickens. Oh, what a pretty little moth. Fluttering around in the shade. The apple tree, that's an eater. And a russet. It's actually quite tasty, but it seems to be dropping more than actually ripening them. We've got a little dahlia here. So I think once the pumpkin goes, I'm going to have to get my hands in there and rescue the plants from the ground elder. Eucalyptus has done really well, considering this was a twig when I got it 2 years ago. It's a bit horrifying really how quick they gained height and girth. Right, this is the camellia, and this is the rose sorbet, I think. Was it? I'll have a quick look at the tag in a minute for you. So it was one-sided because of this spire was growing into it. So this has had a chop back, and we've let a lot more light into the camellia, and as you can see, it's paid off. We have got some brilliant new shoots that are coming this way, so I will be trimming this back again. So we are now in the stable block area. So posh stables, they've got door knockers. Yeah, and very neglectful with my hanging baskets this year. These are the water butts that I painted, and I actually think if I'd painted these and then let them dry properly, this one would have taken the paint better, and then this one probably would have done, but I did paint them on a damp day and then it rained. Just shut the stable up. So yeah, it did work, but it didn't, if that makes sense. So the camellia is called Strawberry Parfait. So not at all what I said. Nothing was here when we moved in, and I've added this pretty little Hebe, which is here. And then we've got lots of forget-me-nots, what I call elephant's ears, which absolutely love the shade. And then we've got all my beautiful ferns. I've just got a thing about ferns, and we've one day like a Victorian fernery, not an infirmary. Daisies, they need a really good chop back. And then I think the main thing for this area is weeding. So as much as I love the forget-me-nots, they're starting to take over, and actually it's probably better for us to just get rid of them. So I might unleash David with the blowtorch, which I think he'll be quite excited about using, because he does get banned from using it on most days. Say hello, David.
Hello, David.
Right, looking this way you can see how bad the weeds are, but also you can see that we've got the fig has started to grow at long last. So there was a apple tree, just see the stump here, and it kind of stopped you having access to the stable block and the sheds. Here we've got some more of the sedums, and I said this when I did the front garden tour. These are all grown from a single plant that I took a cutting from in my mum's garden, and yeah, they're just the easiest thing to propagate, and they just give you that beautiful autumn colour. So this is an area of the garden I've never shown before, and this at the moment is currently full of Halloween wood, but it's like a little woodland garden, and it's a path that goes into the woods, and a field behind us, but it's ever so pretty and it's cool. And in the spring we have lots of bluebells here, but yeah, at the moment it's a bit of a dumping ground. So this is the border that I planted those hydrangeas in at the beginning of the month, and they've taken really well. We've got lots of fresh growth on them. I am having to water them fairly frequently. We have got a mole. Here, there's a mole. The great thing about having moles, there's only one great thing, is that the soil that they produce is the best soil for planting seedlings. So yeah, the geraniums have taken. All of the hydrangeas are taken. All of these are the polar bear hydrangea, and then this one, I always forget the name of it, is a silver dollar. I'm not a great lover of plants that just do green and green in a big way, so that kind of big green. So this will probably go, because I've created this year, this little garden here, and it's got a little bit of a cottage garden vibe, and I kind of think this is blocking a bit of light into the greenhouse. And I also think looking out of the greenhouse, it'd be really nice to see pretty colours like lupins and delphiniums rather than that hedge there. Another of the Buxus plants that is struggling, has been pressure washed, and we are on caterpillar watch. Ugh, so annoying. The ferns are doing really well up this top half of the border, and we do have a wasp's nest just there. I don't know if you can see them. Gonna leave them. They do some good for the garden, so they're not affecting us. So why would I kill them? I'll probably go and get stung now I've said that. This needs a bit of a weed through. This has worked really well. This is the first year the gladiolis have been in here. These were a Mother's Day bulb present, and they've been absolutely incredible. And also the sweet peas here have done really well, but I've let those go to seed now, and I will take those seed and I will use them in the autumn, ready for next year. So once again, thank you very much for watching. This was a quick back garden tour. I didn't touch on the greenhouse. I didn't have a chance to look at the patio because they are in full sun now. I'm in the shade of the eucalyptus tree. I'm going to go and have lunch and then take the dog for a walk. So have a beautiful day, everybody.